And we are live. The millions of people are flooding in as we speak.
Indeed they are.
And James Tusk as well.
Yes, I'm here. I was
joining
just
us on the stream. So the millions are flooding in. A little bit later than maybe you'd expected, but we are here now, live and direct. So good news there. And we're talking about women confirming the 80-20 rule. Only elite men make the cut. The rest forgotten.
So it's not a rabbi. It's not a pun on rabbis. It's actually to do with dating.
It is to do with dating. Yeah, yeah. Where are you at the moment? You in? Oh, you somewhere else, aren't you?
I'm not sitting in a room with a crystal meth pipe in my hand.
Well, that's good.
It's not big in Brazil. You wouldn't be able to get hold of that. I think they smoke this kind of weird kind of street crack called bass or something here. You see homeless people just kind of roaming around like zombies. But I'm not one of them currently. I'm sitting in a place called San Miguel G. Miguelish. It's in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I had a walk around yesterday and there's nothing here, but it's some very beautiful beaches. So here for a couple of days, a couple more days in a really random place, then back to Sao Paulo for a couple of weeks to get started with the dating. But it's been a nice trip. I've taken it around with the habits guy, Eddie, and it's been cool. We just kind of roamed around new places. So it's been
What are his habits like? What are his habits like behind closed doors then?
Actually, very, very habitual. He does what he says.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's like a tin of Ronsil paint. Like he actually does what he says on the tin. Unlike us preaching day game and then getting crumpled notes out, he actually does. Oh yeah, I'm good at breathing. I'm gonna do some breathing exercise. Like it's very like actually in line. So he's good at that. He'll be coming out to Bogota, of course, to join to teach a few of these guys in person some nervous system training stuff. Complimentary for the guys coming. So it'll be good to have him there. But he's a very skilled English guy. Yeah, very well.
Yes. So if you want to actually work with us and not just watch this nonsense that we go through on these live streams every day, then you need to come to Bogota from the 16th of April through to the 22nd. We've got an event over there. So drop us an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com or info@jamestusk.com. And we can and put your WhatsApp details as well so we can get on the call with you and we can discuss all the details. But basically, 7 days of in-depth, immersive training. You'll be living in a house with a bunch of other guys, with trainers. There'll be wing girls on hand to help you out, help you with the conversation skills, your flirtation skills, all the rest of it. It's just going to be a mental event. And I mean, Bogota is just such a fantastic city for this stuff. Probably one of the best in the world.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the pad itself, so David and another trainer, and then all the clients, 6-7 clients will be in there. It's an amazing looking pad, like really luxurious. Massive, spacious, right in the middle of Bogota. Every day you could be going out doing day game, hitting the bars, and then texting all your leads and bringing them around for a house party. We've run this format before. We've improved it every time. The addition of the wing girls is very good. So we'll go and sit in tables in bars and clubs, and there's about 3 or 4 hot wing girls. So we'll just bring over girls as well, provide that social proof. Yeah. You'll be a president as well, but it adds to the fuel, and it's going to be phenomenal. Myself, Troy, Les will also be there. And then the habits coach, Eddie, voice coach, James and Bo might come down to give a few complimentary sessions as well. So it'll be a really real turnout. And Justin, the BDSM coach, is coming down. So a real full house for the 16th to 20th of April. If you're keen on this idea, if you watched our content for a while and you thought, I always kind of wanted to meet these jokers, but I've never summoned the courage. Now is the time. Join us. It'll be phenomenal. It's the last boot camp in Latin America as well for 2026. Minus Argentina. It's the last big one.
Yeah, indeed. We will be in Buenos Aires after that, but I mean, Bogota really is the big one. So, but either of those things, you can drop us an email. Again, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, info@jamestusk.com, and put your WhatsApp details in there, and we'll get you all the details. We'll jump on a quick call with you and just talk through, the options and so on. So, with that being said, should we get into the topic? So put your questions in the chat, by the way, guys, and we'll go through those in a bit. Women confirm the 80-20 rule. Only elite men make the cut. The rest forgotten. Okay, pretty harsh, but this is how it is out there on those streets these days. So point number 1. This is really from dating app data. So studies from platforms like Tinder and OkCupid repeatedly show the same pattern. Women rate the majority of men as below average in attractiveness. So it's not even that they're rating them as, yeah, he's okay, but not really my cup of tea. They're rating them as below average. That's the majority. Right. Women rating the majority of men below average. On some data sets, roughly 80% of men are rated by women as unattractive, while attention clusters around a much smaller group. Modern technology didn't invent this dynamic. It simply showed the results on a spreadsheet, basically. So, you know, it's not like this has been invented by the dating apps, but it is something that's been now is provable by the dating apps. So basically, yeah, I mean, these, you know, women actively think the majority of the male population are unattractive, which is kind of mind blowing, isn't it? Really,
it's another blow in the coffin, nail in the coffin for guys that want to rely on apps to outsource the fact they don't have to be social, because as we've long talked about, a woman could probably find a guy quite ugly on an app, but in person, the in-person rears where you create a vibe, you know, an energy vortex between you two with real life communication, because you stroll up to a confidant in a bar or on the street, that can hack the apps. Because we've been with many clients who've even said that. They said the girl I'm currently dating said she wouldn't fucking date me on an app, but there was something about me in person. So this, you know, long corroborates our idea of just get the fuck off the apps and start speaking to people in real life, because you can Svengali it that way.
Yeah, it's happened to me many times. In fact, actually, probably most of the women that I've dated since about the age of 30, or I don't know, mid-30s, I wouldn't have dated if I'd have tried to meet them on the apps. I just wouldn't even have probably entered their sphere of vision, let alone actually ended up on a date with them. So yeah, that is the game changer. And it's worth saying that this data is also used by a lot of black pill influencers, doomer influencers, to say, therefore, everything is about looks, because look at this data from OkCupid and look at this data from Tinder. But the problem with that is you're taking data from a very self-selecting ecosystem, aren't you? An ecosystem that is entirely based on looks, because what is Tinder based on? I mean, nobody really reads the profiles. They're looking at the photos, right? So obviously the whole thing is based on looks. When you step outside of that ecosystem into the real world, things change very rapidly, don't they?
Of course. And look, I am a decent looking guy and I have had my Tinder optimized, and quite frankly, it's a waste of time. You know, I get the occasional sixes delivered into my inbox going, oh yeah, maybe we can meet, thinking they're in the position of power. So honestly, it's just Tinder, Bumble, all of these fucking apps, they're businesses. They're not built to make you happy. And even as a guy in the upper percentile for the looks, I can assure you they do not do any damage. They don't work for you. You're just paying a fucking subscription for a bunch of average girls. The only app in inverted commas that is worth optimizing, and speak to our friend Felipe about this, who does this, is Instagram. That is the world's biggest dating app, because every woman is on there and religiously spending about 4 or 5 hours a day scrolling through. So if you optimize that will help you, but you still got to be doing cold approach, because you have to learn to relax your nervous system in person around women, right? The way you talk to your mate Terry over a beer, you know, when you're watching the football, very relaxed, in flow. That's simply a state you can reach with women. You just have to train yourself to be relaxed around women. Your nervous system relaxes. The problem is you don't interact with women. You use your Instagram to get them out on a date because it's optimized, AI, blah, blah, blah. On the date, you're really awkward and bug-eyed because you're not used to flirting with girls. Lo and behold, you don't get laid, and then you think you're a loser, right? So you have to, there's no way you can fake being good with women without in-person communication, spending time with women. You have to do it.
Yeah.
So we are the way, we are the shortcut, because when you come to a training with us, we throw you in 200-300 times. You'll approach more in a weekend than you've ever approached in your entire life. But with that massive action comes a massive relaxation of your nervous system, because your nervous system learns very quickly over that volume of approaches. Oh, I don't die. Okay, this isn't that bad. Okay, I can actually have fun with this. That's what you've got to do.
In a way, that's ultimately what you're paying for, isn't it? I mean, you're not really paying for a holiday in Bogota. You're not really paying for the banter, or even for whatever may happen between you and the girls if you date, or whatever, or something more happens. All of that's great. But what you're really paying for at the end of the day is an ability to sit there in front of a girl, or stand there in front of a girl, and not feel your heart pounding through your chest, and be able to have a conversation that attracts her. And I mean, that is invaluable. I mean, really, we're undercharging for this, to be honest, because if you could bottle that feeling and just sell it in boots, you would be a billionaire, wouldn't you?
You would, because ultimately that's all it is. It's relaxation around women, and then you can act normally. If you look at gay guys, very flamboyant gay guys who have lots of hot feminine girl mates, we've seen this a lot in Bogota and clubs like Teatron. How are they acting around women? They're uber relaxed. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so comfortable with the feminine. You can get to that state. You just got to relax by taking massive action and then realizing it doesn't kill you, and your body relaxes. You don't start going weird and tense and, you know, eyes bulging and making weird jokes and feeling awkward, because women simply sense how you feel. So if you're relaxed around women, playful, calm, guess what? They feel turned on. That's it. And it's a nervous system state you have to train through volume of exposure. You can't shortcut this. We see this many times. Guys will get good at cold approach with us, take 6 months off, come back to it, and then they're like, man, it's like I'm just scaring the women away. It's like, yeah, because your body is tense. They feel how you feel. They're very intuitive. And if you feel tense and weird, guess how they feel? Tense and weird. So there's no secret to this. But it's very clear. It's actually very simple. Volume of exposure, your body relaxes, you get better with women, you get results, that compounds.
Yeah.
And then on the side of it, obviously working on the key areas, we're making you look very presentable. You're actually having a laugh day to day. You know, you're in the gym, your fashion looks good. These are all factors we look at as well. But ultimately, it's nervous system relaxation around women.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, as stunning as a revelation as it might be, we are basically your only hope, you know? So if you've reached these channels, then this is it. This is the last chance.
The thing is, it actually is, though. I was thinking about this. You don't have to work with us, but your only hope is actually exposure of time around women. You can't fake this. You can't luck out at this. There's no secret key. You just have to do it a lot.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, actually, I just happened. It wasn't even in regard to this stream, but I was reading a Reddit thread this morning, and some guy was basically, I think the headline of the fucking post was no, 0 matches, 0 dates, 0 likes, or something like that. And basically, it was what it said on the tin. He'd been on the dating apps, he'd been on Tinder for a while, and he just got absolutely nothing. And he said he'd tried to optimize his profile a bit, and just no interest at all. It was complete crickets. And he was saying, is this normal? What should I do? And then guys underneath were saying, yeah, it is kind of normal these days, to be honest, you know. And they were going through a lot of the arguments that we make. And then they started talking about in real life, and the guy said, yeah, I think I'm going to have to try in real life. And another guy wrote underneath, yeah, that's just not really a thing anymore, though.
I mean, that's like, farcical, isn't it? It's like everything is dictated in real life once you get past look, everything's a funnel. And even if you use a digital funnel to meet women, which we don't advise, possibly with Instagram, but definitely not with normal dating apps. But even if you do, the funnel brings you in. We just teach the funnel of straight away in person, but the funnel still brings you to in person. Guess what? You have to meet the girl, you have to spend time on dates with her. She enters your life. You can't just Svengali that. So you have to become comfortable around the feminine. Around that's
and
it.
You can't just say, oh well. I mean, what does that even mean? Oh well, nobody's doing it now, so it's just not a thing anymore. Well, I mean, for a start, it is a thing, because I see people every day doing it, and not just weird day game people, but actual normal people interacting with women and getting their phone numbers. And secondly, even if most people aren't doing it, that means it's an even better opportunity for you, because the reality is, if you meet a girl and she's available and she's interested, and you met her in a coffee shop or something, is she going to come out on a date with you? Yeah, of course she is. Why wouldn't she? In fact, actually, women actually prefer to meet guys like that increasingly, don't they? So the whole thing is nonsensical. It's very sort of closed off thinking. And the final irony about it is, of course, you know, we read all the time that actually Gen Z actually are now moving away from the apps and moving apparently towards meeting in real life. So to say it's not a thing is just stupid. You know, it's just not reality. You know, it's somebody who sits on the internet all day and doesn't really know what's going on in the real world. Anyway, point number 2 is hypergamy is older than smartphones. Evolutionary psychology has long suggested women are more selective in mate choice due to biological investment in reproduction. Okay, so basically they want the best genes. In other words, the top-tier male concentration phenomenon didn't begin with Tinder. Technology just turned up the volume to stadium level. So yeah, I mean, that's very true, and that's something that we shouldn't forget, because guys have an idea, oh, it used to be so much easier back in 2001 or back in 1998 or something. And it didn't really. I mean, if anything, like you said, your rears had to be absolute peak, didn't it? Because if everybody was meeting in real life, people weren't using these apps, then there would naturally, again, be some guys who were very good at it and also maybe happen to be good looking or have money or whatever. So those are the guys at the top. All the women really wanted to be with those guys. The guys down the bottom were seen as the losers and would struggle to get dates. And I mean, I experienced this myself when I was at college or school. And it's the plot of many a high school movie, isn't it? The nerdy dude at the bottom who can't get a date. I mean, so if you think, if we just turn back time and got rid of smartphones, everything would be brilliant. That's just not true, because these dynamics have always been in play.
And even if it was true, it's unfortunately there's no turning back smartphones. So we adapt to what's going on right now. You're alive and you want to mate and date and shake it in 2026. What the fuck are you going to do? Pretend smartphones don't exist?
Well, yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, you are, because you need.
Well, that's what guys want to do. I mean, I had a comment on a video the other day. The guy, I was banging on about something about smart, the social media and how it's created. The things we always talk about, how social media has created this inflation, I suppose, for women in terms of the partners they think they can get and how that makes it harder. Blah blah blah. And a guy wrote in the comments underneath, "Well, yeah, social media's ruined everything. I suppose Troy would just tell us to suck it up, but I'm not going to." And it's like, what the hell are you going to do?
Sit in your room wanking, or
Mr. Z 0017654779 on YouTube with your anonymous account on YouTube. What are you going to do? Is I'm going to post angrily in the comments section? I'm going to keep posting angrily, and then things will change. It's not going to fucking change. It's done. The genie's out the bottle. It's finished.
You might as well go on the journey to try and level up with women and get some sort of human connection, because you don't have to go around, you don't have to turn into the Marine 5 guy and really assimilate and start banging Victoria's Secret models. But you can get to a point where, you actually do get some hot girls. Yeah. And suddenly you feel very empowered because you're not lonely, right? That Akon song, Mr. Lonely, not being able to have connection with the feminine.
It's so lonely. That one.
Yeah, but not having connection with the opposite sex is possibly, it's the cause of a lot of male anguish, and a lot of the, I know guys that have, over women, or basically lack of abundance, if I'm being honest, because the girls fuck them around and they just don't think they can ever get anyone else. They've ended things, and that's a really, really depressing place to be. And guess who has the key to solve that problem? The individual. No one's coming to save you. We will put out stuff which will trigger you. And that's why we get a lot of hate, because guys, quite frankly, don't like what we've got to say, because on a deeper level, they know it's true. And it's easier to just pretend, put your head in the sand like an ostrich, go, fuck these two clowns, actually. No. All this promiscuous sex, all this traveling around. No. They should either just be with one girl, or they just shouldn't bother. It's unholy. It's not more. It's like, bro, you're sitting there worrying about that, and you haven't dated a bird in a year, and you're quite lonely. And that's why you're arguing with us online or trying to throw out comments. Yeah. It's like, there is no greater thing you've got to solve in your life than the ability to connect with other people. And a part of that, half that equation is women. Half that equation is men. Actually have a good tribe of guys around you, right, to have your back. That's super important. If you look at evolutionary psychology, which gives you the keys to understanding all this stuff, we evolved in tribes. You have that brotherly kind of love, right? Going over the front line, probable front line with people, shooting the shit, getting rejected, having a beer afterwards. It's fun, right? It's fun. You need that masculine energy. Yeah. Anyone that just says no, which just finds to be around women the whole time, is a fucking weirdo. We've met them. They're weird. You need that masculine energy, but you also need the feminine. You cannot run away from this. You cannot live a complete and fulfilled life, MGTOWing it up. Just saying, no, fuck all dating. I'm just going to fuck that. And then you secretly get around prostitutes or watch porn to get your release. It's like, bro, talk about anti-masculine. Just fucking man up a bit and actually just go and address it head on.
Yeah. And talking about having femininity around, we've got our single female viewer, Adriana, here, who says men are very hypergamous too. I agree with that, actually. And we have talked about
Yes, it's so true, right? Women get the tough rap for this, but everyone in the dating market simply wants the best deal.
Yeah.
And absolutely, like, let's be honest, if you're banging Hilda at age 50 and suddenly Svetlana at age 22 comes along, flirting with you in the office, I mean, you're only human. You don't necessarily have to act on it, but your impulse is, okay, let me see what Svetlana's up to in the broom cupboard today. So, but it's true, isn't it? It's like women get a tough rap for it, but they go for the more powerful man. And, they don't have to act on it. But men are also, we're driven by the same impulses. Everyone just wants the best deal in the market while we're alive. I mean, that's fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's more about, I think the reason women get a bad rap is because it's seen as a betrayal, isn't it? It's like, no, you accept, because it's more of a betrayal because you're literally entering the woman. You're entering her reality. She's submissive in the sexual relationship. And it is a betrayal on a deeper kind of level, isn't it? Yeah, women care in a different way. They don't give a fuck if you fuck Svetlana, but are you in love with Svetlana? No, I'm not. But I fucked her. Oh, that's fine. Just as long as you're not in love.
If they're unfaithful, then yeah, you could. It's a sort of bigger deal, maybe from the male point of view. But also as well, I think the reason it's somewhat easier for many women to achieve hypergamy than it is for men, because a lot of men, like if you think about the average guy that who's having problems in dating. There's that guy who was on that Reddit thread who's got 0 matches, right? I mean, he doesn't even have the means to be hypergamous. He probably is. If he suddenly became king and then he had all these women chasing him, he would undoubtedly go for the best looking girl out of the bunch. But in his current state, he just can't be hypergamous because he can't even get one date, let alone two or three or five. So I think that's maybe the issue. That's why guys get on their high horse about it. But the reality is, if they were in the same position as women, they would do exactly the same thing. So, all right. Point number 4.
3.
Oh, I missed a point. Okay. The swipe economy intensifies all of this. So dating apps create a marketplace where women can screen hundreds of men quickly. That concentrates attention towards the most visually appealing or high status profiles. In the real world, a man might compete with 10 other people in the bar. Online, he's competing with 10,000 men within a 10-mile radius. So, yeah, I mean, the very act of the apps and swiping and everything else, it does make people into a commodity, doesn't it? And what else has she got to go on, really? I mean, particularly Tinder. All you've got to go on, really, is the photos. So who's going to go, oh, this guy looks like this nerdy-looking guy who's got shit photos, but I bet he's got a really nice personality. I mean, nobody in their right mind is going to do that. So the only metric really they have to even look at is looks or appearance and maybe a few status signalers. So what do you expect, really? But again, you're choosing to be in that marketplace. You're choosing to be on the apps. You're choosing to be in the online circus, and you don't have to be.
You can't outsource your dating life to an algorithm, to a business online that doesn't care about you on a deeper level and expect it to pay dividends. Especially now, because look, let's be honest, masculinity's soft. So what do all men think? Right, let's take the easiest option to approach to attempt, mating with the maximum possible women. Put myself as an online profile. It is flooded. We forget the stats, but it's heavily unfavored in men to women ratio, isn't it? Dating apps now.
Yeah, they're massively skewed towards men. It's
and again, even have your Instagram profile optimized, but again, look, unless you've got a bit of a baller profile, right? You're a serious influencer or a mini celebrity or an athlete, you can probably get away with DMing women. But the average bloke, I'm sorry, I've dated women and we look at their Instagram because I'm always fascinated. I find some excuse, not because I give a shit they're banging other people, right? We're not exclusive, but I'm just like, how many, just out of interest, I've always wondered what it's like to be a hot girl, right? How many online messages you get a day just from random dudes? And they'll show me it is staggering. My flabber is constantly gassed. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, thank God I can speak to people in real life. And I've even had it. I've told this story many times, but I remember this particular girl in Vegas. This was a few years ago, 5-6 years ago. So Instagram wasn't as big as it was now. Very hot, kind of Chinese heritage American girl. Very, very sexy. And she just locked eyes with me as I was checking into the Bellagio. I was there for a boot camp. We started talking. She's like, I'm just here for a weekend. You're cute. Where are you from? I was like, London. And she was like, oh, her eyes lit up. She's like, oh. She said something like, I've always wanted to be with a guy from London. So I was like, all right, this has got to be a done deal, surely. It was too much. It was too easy. Anyway, stupidly, we exchanged Instagrams because she didn't have WhatsApp. And I just thought, oh, Instagram, it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, messaged her. She didn't reply. And then on the Sunday, we're both checking out. We happened to be there at the same time. She's really pissed off. She's like, James, why didn't you message me? For fuck's sake, I wanted to see you yesterday, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I can't remember her name. I was like, I did. And we open up our phone and it's just buried amongst 500 other messages she's got in 2 days being in Vegas. It just goes to show, right? And if it just been simple exchange of numbers, SMS or WhatsApp would have probably got her out. But the point being, women are just flooded, inundated with offers from guys who have way bigger accounts than you, for anyone watching. you're not going to get a look in. Have your Instagram optimized. We always say this. Don't have it working against you like shit fashion. Have it on point, because it can work against you if you don't. Me and Troy's profiles, they're fine. A few photos, a few thousand followers, whatever, not following many people. Optimized to look like we're living a cool life, but only 6 photos. So it's not working against us, but we're not leading with Instagram, right? We're leading with real life social skills. That's the only way. And hacking the market, getting on a plane to places where you think, oh, the women are fucking hot. Yeah. And then you've got an added incentive to make it happen, and you're a hotter property.
Yeah.
Hack the sexual market,
Yeah, I mean, it's worth saying again, because people maybe forget this, but I mean, for me personally, I mean, we make a lot of content about how tough the dating market is and it's Armageddon and all the rest of it. I personally, as an individual, have no worries whatsoever about the current dating marketplace. I couldn't give a monkeys. Now that sounds like, oh, I'm preaching from this rooftop and I'm looking down on all of you lot, and I'm really not, because I know I understand the situation. I have been there, but I'm just saying personally, as an individual, none of this stuff really worries me very much, because I know that I can just walk out the house and go and talk to people and make things happen. Right. Having done it over many years. So what I'm saying is there is light at the end of the tunnel here. It's not like, oh, it's all doomed and so therefore give up, because we're offering you the solution. But whether you take that solution or not is ultimately up to you. It's a big decision though, because it's whether you go on the hero's journey. I always see this coming on a boot camp as analogous to the hero's journey, because what guys often do, their life's a bit of a mess. They're sitting on the couch with the proverbial Cheetos, watching shit TV. They're not happy. They haven't been happy for a while. They've watched our content and some other people's probably, and they've decided, you know what, fuck this. In a moment of clarity or drunk or something, they go, fuck this. I'm going to take a stand. A bit like I did. They sign up to a boot camp. They come on a boot camp. They suddenly go, oh, fuck. It's actually quite fun approaching women. I've had a couple of success in Bogota. I've actually got laid. These girls seem to be into me. And these guys, it's cool being out in a new environment, bonding with other men. So then it sets them on the hero's journey. They're like, right, what do I do now? And we go, right, the fashion. Get your ass to the gym 3 times a week. Sort out your diet. Get your blood tested, your hormones tested. How's your testosterone? Meet these guys in London. You can go out with them as wings. And suddenly, over this course of like 4 or 5 weeks or 6 weeks, because we hold them accountable, they're starting to start to level up on their own hero's journey. And then that fuels into the next bit. And suddenly they're just living a life they're actually enjoying being part of for the first time. They're not a passenger in their own life. They're actually like, fuck, I'm taking control and I feel good and I feel empowered and sovereign. And suddenly women are looking at me. And that's a really, really amazing position to be in. So start by just coming on a boot camp, shaking things up. We're not designed to sit there and wait till our time to die. Life is too soft. That's the problem. The comfort crisis are very real. And that's why, you feel depressed, you feel anxious, because you're not doing anything with your time. You're sitting there, not putting your comfort zone, not will to powering it, not curiosity and testing your own limits, doing fuck all, and you're lonely. And the only person that has the key to that door is you. Yeah. Indeed. So what's point number 4? Sorry? Point number 4. Are we on 5 now? I think we're on 5. Possibly. All right, so 5 is the male delusion problem. A depressing number of men still think the strategy is show up, be polite, mention their job, hope romance materializes. They're stunned when the woman loses interest before the second drink. So again, this is something that we teach. We actively will help to coach you through it. And when we work with long-term clients, we're getting into this stuff the whole time. But it's not enough anymore just to turn up on a date or even in the approach and just do a sort of a literal meet and greet where you give her very factual information about you. And the idea is, okay, well, I've got a good job. I wear nice chinos. So where's the romance? Here it is. Give me the romance back. It's not like that. It's not like putting money into a vending machine and then the goods coming out. It's like you've got to bring some spark to the table, haven't you? And I think a lot of guys just haven't got the memo on this. And that's partly why we've still got a job, really, because, some people watching this stuff will go, oh, this is all really obvious. Why are you still talking about this stuff in 2026? But, believe me, the reality is the guys that we meet who need help with this, they haven't got a clue about any of this stuff. They really haven't. And that's why we have to keep banging the drum. Because it's not like these aren't huge changes. It's just you've got to tweak the way that you approach these situations. Because they are very specific. Attraction is a very specific situation, isn't it? You can't approach it like approaching a job interview.
Yeah, Les told me the 3 things we should base live streams around, which we don't need to, but we can give you the 3 points. He said that in 10 years of running this business with me, that we've compiled the 3 biggest challenges all clients face. We're learning this stuff is, first of all, approach anxiety. You can't even speak to women, right? So you're ruled out because you can't even open your mouth. After that, you actually can speak to women. Second thing is, don't know what to say, stroke boring conversation. You don't know how to speak to a woman after being able to actually take the shot. That's point number 2. And third thing is lack of ability to sexualize. No flirting, no sexualization, unable to put that forward. Yeah. If you can master those 3 things, that is the 80%. That is the 20% to conquer the 80% of this. Those are the 3 linchpins. And what we do is we systematically work on those 3 pillars with you. And they're one after the other. Because if you don't need to worry about number 2, boring conversations, and number 3, sexualization, if you can't even open your mouth to open the conversation.
Yes.
So that's the first thing.
And unfortunately, a lot of guys actually have all 3 at the same time.
Yeah, no, they all do. Because you can't conquer the second and third without the first. You can't conquer the third without the first and the second. You have to have them all in a row. And you can. And that's what we do on the boot camps and the training. We work on that first one, second one, third one. And then on the side of that, we're maxing out your value, max out your fashion, your fitness, your finances, how are you spending your time? What are your bad habits? Get rid of all of those. And then you're working on those 3 specific things with women. And it's a very repeatable game plan to get you where you need to go, actually.
Yeah.
So take the ego out of it. Treat yourself like a playable character. Do X, do X, do X. Right, that bit's conquered. Next one. That's it. It's not actually that hard.
Yeah. And you could argue that this stuff is, well, I say argue, I think it is a fact that this stuff has become much more important in the modern world because women, look, for a start, women aren't impressed so much by your job anymore. I mean, yes, if you're a higher earner, that's obviously good. But the reality is women also have great jobs these days. They have amazing careers. They make a load of money. Sometimes they make more money than men. And that's a problem for the women because they're trying to date up and there's a smaller pool of guys that they can go for, right? So that's an issue for them. But, you turn up and you're like, well, yes, I work at HR. I'm a middle manager at, an insurance firm or something. It's not really setting any, they don't really care anymore because that's almost taken as a given. It's like, yeah, okay, well, that's baseline. What else have you got? And it's the guys who are able to be charismatic and to bring some vibe to the table who will win through in that kind of environment. Now, back in the day, back when, say, my parents met or something like that, then, yeah, it probably was a little bit more like, oh, he's a good provider. Okay, box ticked, fair enough. But those days are long gone. They're really long gone, aren't they?
Do you think they're long gone in Eastern Europe as well? Or do you think that kind of still exists? And it's not a bad thing it still exists because, again, you can hack the dating market by being there. But say in Mother Russia, Ukraine, do you think it's still Anglosphere based like you're talking about? Or do you think it's different?
I think it's, I think it's a little bit more, I think they're sort of probably 15, 20 years maybe behind in some ways. But even then, the issue there is that they've all still got Instagram.
Yes.
Not in Russia, but you know what I mean? Like in general, they've got social media. So they've still got all of this comparison. So I think it's one of those, I mean, yeah, it's a bit less advanced than the way it is in the UK. It's not quite there yet, but it's still, particularly in Poland. Poland's interesting, isn't it? Because it is a very quickly modernizing place. And you can see it, can't you? Because the women there, as it gets more wealthy and, it moves on and it moves up, it's sort of like the women there are, it's still probably slightly better than the UK, but it's sort of catching up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think
expectations.
You meet some women, Ukrainian women in Warsaw, and they've kind of been westernized. And it's a bit of a shame because they're actually quite entitled and they're giving you the sort of responses, dismissiveness that you would not get if you're approaching in Ukraine. Because I've been there. I'll often go to Warsaw and then I'll go to Ukraine. Even now, you can go there. You're not just going to necessarily get exploded on site. And the difference is night and day. They're almost becoming a bit westernized. I've seen it, but the great example I have is a very cute, good-looking Ukrainian girl from basically a village. I met her over in Odessa. She was there for a bit. Incredibly feminine, sweet girl. She actually randomly moved to London, and I met her 2 years later there. She was a total nightmare. Entitled, realised she was the big fish in a small pond, just really intolerable to be around. Then I met her 2 years later when she went back to Ukraine, and she'd reverted back to the sweet, innocent Ukrainian. So women are very much a product of their environment. You see this a lot with Miami. Brazilians, Colombians, Venezuelans going there, becoming ratchet and finger wagging, and actually a bit of a nightmare because they've been anglicized. They become American. It's awful. So what's the solution? Get the fuck out the Anglosphere. Thank God that you earn an Anglosphere money, and then go and spunk that money all over the place, hacking the sexual market like I do, spending half the year in Latin America for their summer and half the year in Eastern Europe for their summer. That would be my advice. And get the fuck off Instagram. Do it in real life.
Yeah. Okay, number 6 is cultural illiteracy. So we did a whole stream about this the other day, but older men in particular often fail with younger women, not because of age, but because they don't understand the cultural world she inhabits. Music, humor, references, social media, language. It's like trying to flirt in a foreign country using a phrase book from 1993. So 100%. There's this sort of boomer, for want of a better word, mentality, isn't there, where the guy turns up and he's got this kind of uncle energy, particularly if you're an older guy or you're in your 30s or later 30s or 40s and you're trying to date somewhat younger women. If you're not at least somewhat aware of what's going on culturally, you can just look like somebody's dad's friend, can't you, or somebody's uncle, which is sort of, I mean, she might try to pump you for some money, but it's not really going to set her world on fire.
No. So what do you do in that situation? It's carrying a younger energy, is it? I mean, you're a great example of a guy who does date younger. I mean, you're going for the golden eye Sean Bean look currently, the kind of Bond villain, and that hacks it in a way, but you can't wear that outfit all the time. So, I mean, how do you Svengali it? Is it just about an energy or just lack of giving a fuck about age? Because you don't really think about age, and this is how the dating market works. Women pick up on what we care about or what we have insecurities about. You've never given a fuck about age. So guess what? And also you look good. But guess what? Women don't care about your age because you don't give a fuck. Right? I think
it's not really. I mean, I don't think anybody, well, maybe it's different depending on the kind of life you've had. But I think a lot of people, even who are older than me, don't actually think about their age. Or if they do, they say, I still feel 27 and actually I'm 60 or whatever. So I think it's also just about trying to somewhat keep up to date with what's actually happening, like online, in music, in the culture in general. Not slavishly. It's not saying, you have to, I don't know, watch every episode of the Kardashians or something, but you've got to have some sort of awareness of the cultural touchstones that she's likely got, because otherwise it just looks like you're sort of, like you said, you're an uncle, you're not really a sexual prospect in her market, and that's not a good look. So it's not trying to be young, it's not trying to be down with the kids, but it's also just recognizing that this stuff is important and not shitting on all of her, things she's interested in. Like, again, famously, we had the guy on the stream the other week who was saying, I'm not on social media because it disgusts me. And it's like, well, okay, but I mean, if you've got that attitude, that's not going to set you up very well in the dating market.
The other thing, of course, the ultimate hack, which we really recommend guys look into, because after the age of 30, 90% of the clients we have are somewhat deficient in their male hormone stack. Get your bloods tested. If you're in the UK, go for the ultimate blood test with Medichecks. Costs about 200 quid. And if you're in the US, get the Marek Health Basic Panel, and that will show often a deficiency in testosterone, which declines anyway naturally over the age of 30. And often there'll be issues with thyroid. So if you're very skinny and anxious, typically there's thyroid issues present. If you're overweight, sluggish, slightly depressed, there's often an underactive thyroid present. These can be optimized. And most guys have issues with free testosterone. So total testosterone, if you've had that tested before by the GP, is not a good indicator, because like me, you can have very high total T and have other hormones out of whack, like prolactin, female, sex hormone, or SHGB, which essentially locks up the testosterone in your body so you can't access it. So, for example, for me, I had high prolactin, high SHGB, very high free total testosterone, but because of the other two hormones, my free testosterone was low. So technically low testosterone. So the lifeblood of masculinity is testosterone. So if you get that optimized, you can be older. And women just feel this vibe from you. Like, this guy's not here to mess around. He's a sexual guy. And you don't even need to do anything. You can still be quite bad at sexualizing stuff, and just they feel this vibe from you. So if you think about, we're just in these random meat suits that slowly decay until they rot, literally in the ground. Keep that optimized, to keep your opportunities with the opposite sex alive. It's not actually rocket science. It's, again, forget the ego. Just go and get the bloods done. The bloods don't lie. So we can see from the bloods exactly what's happening, and then we can decide what's the best plan to optimize this. It boggles me that a lot of clients will either never get the bloods done, or they'll get the bloods done, see their low testosterone, and then be like, "Oh, I won't worry about that." So why wouldn't you worry about it? Why wouldn't you fucking optimize that? You get one shot, one roll of the dice as you. Why wouldn't you want to maximize that? Right?
Yeah, completely. No, it's very, very important to really get all that stuff dialed in. And
it was a linchpin for many years, wasn't it? For us, we were saying that was a bit like 1940s Germany. Like you kind of had to at least do the test to actually work with us, and we've slacked off in recent years because the coffers were running dry and our cocaine habits and hooker habits were increasing, and we needed to make allowances. But the reality is, you should be getting your bloods done after the age of 30. It's a no brainer.
Indeed.
Thank God I sorted out my blood work. Well, good for you. Yeah, it's such a hidden hack. I'd say the biggest two hidden hacks I've come across recently are the nervous system stuff that Eddie teaches, genuinely, because if you're constantly anxious and you're all over the show, it's very hard to do anything with women because they respond to a grounded masculine energy, and that's within you. That can be fixed through the breathing stuff, but also exposure to women. Your nervous system relaxes, super key. That's number one. The second biggest hack is the bloods, because so many guys are walking around with fucked up bloods. And then they're just not really on the ball. They're feeling anxious. Their sleep's bad. They're not really got much sex drive. It's like, bro, that can be fucking fixed, right? We live in a beautiful age now where we have all these advances of technology. Literally within a couple of weeks of just optimization, you feel amazing, like you should have done the whole time. And it's just laziness to not look at that.
Well, the blood work and a bit of TRT have actually been quite a game changer for me, I would say.
Same,
Not in terms of not even necessarily in terms of my results with women, but certainly just my general drive and my desire to engage with women, but also to engage with other parts of life. I think it was quite a big turning point for me, actually, I would say, and a beneficial one.
Michael Sartain famously built his whole multi-million-dollar Men of Action, didn't he, off the base of getting on TRT?
Did he?
He was like, suddenly realized I wasn't happy with that, and I decided, fuck it, let's push myself. And he's built this business, and he attributes all of it to TRT.
Good stuff. Okay, so number 7, the passive male strategy. Sorry, many men sit back and wait to be chosen. That works about as well as waiting for venture capital to arrive while you're still building the PowerPoint. So yeah, a lot of guys just they have this sort of romanticized kind of, oh, well, the right person will come along in the right time kind of attitude to it. And the problem with that is, they might. Some people do luck out and they meet somebody, whatever. But, if you've been waiting for years and nothing's happening, then you need to be taking a much more proactive stance on your dating life. I would say anyway, even if you do get selected sometimes, I would say, it's just better to feel like you have at least some control. You want to be going and talking to the people that you actually want to meet. You want to be actively trying to bring those people into your life, because why not, right? Why just sit there and just wait for whatever the universe decides to dole out to you? You get the crumbs at the end of the meal, sort of thing. You might as well go out there and try to get what you want, right? Surely that's the most, if you want to be masculine, surely that's the most masculine way of approaching it.
There's very few things more satisfying than seeing a girl you genuinely like, having the balls to roll up, making it happen. You have a good vibe, and you end up in bed with her and dating her. It's very empowering as a man. There's no way, there's no dating funnel that's more satisfying to the masculine soul. Genuinely, it's primal, right? It's beautiful, and you will get rejection, but that in itself is fine, because ultimately the joy is in taking the initial action.
Yeah,
and when you can't trick yourself, this concept. They've obviously butchered the kind of, it's not a medical term, but the boss is always watching, right? The subconscious records everything. So every time you take that shot, you see that cute girl and you take the fucking shot, your subconscious records, this is the person who takes action. This is a guy who gets stuck in, who faces the fucking fire, who walks through it. Every time you weasel out of that, guess what? Your subconscious builds a case for actually you're a bit of a flannel, and you can't hide from that. You can hide from us because we can't see it, right? And you can tell us, Tuscan Troy did my reps, but ultimately deep inside, Goggins calls it the accountability mirror. You can't lie to yourself. So this idea of having brutal self-accountability on this journey, it's a really great place to be, because when you're doing it, you sleep easy at night. And when you're not doing it, you feel like every other bloke, tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling, going, "What now?" So it's or what?
More tossing than turning, probably.
More tossing than turning. What was the? But yeah, no, it's a brilliant thing to do. It's one of the joys of this stuff is just fucking going for it with a hot girl, and it's very, very this rush you get is beautiful, right?
Yeah, because you want to feel like you've got some agency in your life, right?
Yes, agency is a key word, right?
Yeah, and I think as much as even if the dating apps work quite well most of the time, which they don't, but even if they did, yeah, but even if they did, wouldn't it still be nice? You know, you walk into the bar and there's this beautiful girl in the red dress over there, and you think, oh, if only I could think of something to say. She smiles at you, and you're like, oh, if only I could think of something to say. And then you let the moment go, you let the opportunity go. Wouldn't it be nice just to be able to take those opportunities? I think we'd all like that, wouldn't we?
It's a beautiful thing. It's the agency is a great word for it. You're reclaiming that ability to be like, I am the main character in this fucking existence, and I'm going to play myself like the main character. I'm going to act like the main character. I'm going to see that pretty girl, and I'm going to fucking say something. And if you can't do that, it's normal, but it's fixable. And you know, if you objectively look at someone's life going, oh, they've got it really sorted out, wouldn't you objectively say, forget yourself for a second, but wouldn't you objectively say that human being can open his mouth to the opposite sex when he wants? Probably, if you're painting an objective like hero in a comic, you'll be like, isn't that a bare minimum? So think about your own life. And if you can't do that, be honest with yourself. That's a learned skill, but you need to address it.
Yeah, you do. Okay, right. On to the next one. So, passive male strategy. The modern visibility game, number 8, sorry. In the digital era, perception often matters before personality ever gets tested. Profile photos, style, physical appearance, and social media footprint form the first filter long before a conversation begins. So, what do we take from this? Well, I think for a start, we've kind of covered this already, actually. For a start, it's worth having a decent-ish Instagram at least. Not because that's going to be your only outlet or your main outlet, but it's good to have. But equally, I think there's also an argument here, again, to get off the apps, because on the apps, of course, you are being judged on your physicality. You are being judged on your profile photos. You are being judged on your physical, you know, what you look like physically. And it's not that you're not in the real world. It's just that you're also able to put in a lot of other indicators as well. So it's not just, oh, how does he look facially? It's like, oh, how does he move in the room? What's he like physically? Like, how confident is he? What's his voice like? What's his eye contact like? You know? The
underrated thing is mystery, of course, as well. So even if I get a cold approach girl and she asks for Instagram, I'll still go WhatsApp. And I'll always... Rarely do I give the Instagram because I want mystery. If you think about female attraction, how it works, they love filling in the gaps. They love making a story about who you could be. The more you reveal to them early on, the more bored they get straight away.
Yeah.
So caffeinate the hamster, they call it. Be mysterious. Don't give away everything.
Yes.
You know? I absolutely agree. Get in touch with us. Spend a few $1,000. Get the fucking Instagram sorted, right? If you want a good example, check out my one. I'll type it into the chat. You can just go and see it. It's an open profile. It's fine. It's not going to win any awards, but it's not going to fuck shit up if a girl looks at it. Right? I know. I've posted it on the private chat to you. Let me write it in the actual thing. Or maybe if I can't write, maybe I'm not allowed to write. No, I can. Okay. Yeah. So spend a few $1,000, get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with the Instagram man, Felipe. He'll help you with that. Done for you service. Don't worry about it. So have it there if you need it. Because some girls will just not give you the WhatsApp, fine. So have it there. And I use it as a joke because sometimes in Brazil, Instagram is king here. Like everyone has it. And so the joke is if you don't have Instagram, you're either married, you've got a secret family, or you're a serial killer. So if a girl's really hesitant, it's often because you need to build more comfort in the conversation. But I'll flick it up and go, look, maybe I am still a serial killer and I've got a secret family, but I also have Instagram. I'll put it away and then get the WhatsApp. But just have it there just in case. Get Felipe optimizing it. Why not have it working not against you, but then still focus on the cold approach stuff as the king.
Yes, indeed. So number 9, the practical response instead of sulking online. Men who typically succeed work on several fronts: fitness and grooming, social skills and playfulness, lifestyle and ambition, building social circles and experiences, and learning how to actually meet women rather than just scrolling.
But can you read that list again? I just want to see if there's anything missing. So go through that again.
Fitness and grooming, social skills and playfulness, lifestyle and ambition, building social circles and experience, and learning how to actually meet women rather than only scrolling.
Yeah, I think those are the key points, aren't they? And hormone management, but that would go into fitness.
Yeah. And then number 10, the final reality check. Complaining about the 80-20 rule changes nothing. Markets reward differentiation. Men who develop charisma, competence, and a compelling life tend to rise above the anonymous mass. The rest spend their evenings writing angry Reddit essays about female nature. So yeah, you know, I mean, we've got a few culprits in the chat today actually who are sort of writing angry things, or not too bad, but you know, sort of doomerish things about.
I'm glad they're writing it, because the only reason they're writing it is because on some way they're drawn to the content because they know it's what they need, but also it's triggering them because they know deep down they've got to undo the curtains, unlock the door, put the Kleenex down, and leave the house and speak to the opposite sex. Ultimately, everyone watching this knows that, and
it always puzzles me a bit, because I saw a comment yesterday on a video I did, and it was one of those comments where it was like, "Oh, who can be bothered with all this stuff? I've given up. I've decided it's not worth it." So some guy said, "Oh, I've disappeared from the scene altogether." And I put, "But you haven't disappeared from my comment section." It's sort of like, okay, fine. If you've chosen to do that, fine. But why are you still watching videos about it? And why are you still commenting? That's the tell, isn't it? Because if people were truly happy with that life decision, it's like, no, I've given it all up. I'm not engaging. Great. But then you don't need to then write on comment sections telling people that you've done that underneath videos where people are trying to tell you to get out of the house. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody do that?
100% agree. That's a great point. Always look at people's actions, not their words. That's very, very simple, isn't it? That's it.
Yes. Okay, so should we go through some parish notices?
Maybe, if there's any parish notices to plow through. No pun intended.
Calm London walks. Brutal being a man today.
Brutal what?
Brutal being a man today.
Is it? I'd say we live in the softest time of all time in the Anglosphere. We have no real problems, and that's the problem, right? We're not just, everyone's just sitting around top of Maslow's hierarchy, doing fuck all with their lives, actually quite bored. Yeah. We need challenge. We need adventure. We need assimilation. We need to will to power it. Curiosity in pushing your own limits to see how far you can push yourself in the game of life. That's what we need. Not soft, sitting on the couch, eating the Cheetos, masturbating. Life is too soft. That's the problem. It's not brutal. It's too soft.
Yeah.
It's brutal because it's too soft. We have too much time to sit around and think. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, we're not, yet anyway, being sent into trenches or being blown up.
Yeah, because if you imagine it like these clowns watching this going, life's brutal. And they're sitting on the couch watching EastEnders, like with their dick in their hand, doing nothing. Imagine if they were suddenly catapulted onto the front line with Sergei, 18, from Ukraine, from Lviv, and you're facing rocket artillery fire. Suddenly you're not going to be thinking life's brutal. Suddenly you're actually going to be thinking life's brutal, because it really is. It's not just in your mind. It's actually confrontationally in front of you as brutal.
Yeah. When he says life's brutal, what he really means is I don't get many matches on Tinder.
Yeah, and I don't have the balls to go and speak to a member of the opposite sex and even say hello. That's what you mean by life's brutal.
In the big scheme of terrible things that can happen to human beings, it's not the highest up there, is it? Right, Jim's got a good one. Amazing content again, chaps. Did either of you get approached by Louis Theroux for the Manosphere documentary that's just dropped on Netflix?
We both did, and we had to turn it down because we got really busy schedules.
Yeah. This one, how much Shakespeare should we be reading to perfect our day game? You've asked that before, or somebody else has asked that before.
To approach or not to approach? To condom or not to condom?
Yeah. So Neil says, if enough men give up on mainstream apps and stop paying for them, then the apps will have to change unless women are prepared to pay for the apps.
No, they won't, because no men. Look, this is a beautiful time. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's shit to be a man in this day and age." It's amazing because men are so soft. So not every man and their dog will still keep paying for apps. It's a proper big business. Yeah, the numbers are dropping, but there's still hundreds of millions of people sign up to these things. Men aren't remasculizing anytime soon in the Anglosphere. If anything, people get softer and softer and softer. It's the comfort creep. So if you flip that on its head, it's a beautiful time to be a man. If you're prepared to actually put yourself into hard shit, play on hard mode, and level up your character relentlessly. Because the opportunities are amazing in this day and age. Amazing.
Jim, again, serious question. Don't you worry about STD. Uncle Jim's here. Don't you worry about STDs, especially with those short-term hookups you kids are doing where you don't know her background. I've heard you can catch herpes even when wearing condoms.
This guy clearly doesn't pull a muscle, doesn't even approach. I mean, what are you worrying about?
Old Uncle Jim. Sleepy Jim. Don't want to spam the chat, but finally, just wanted to say these streams are absolute gold. Thank you. Sorry.
That's nice of you. Yeah. We're like the fickle Rayward Coliseum, aren't we? What wanker? Then the next comment. Oh, no, mate, sorry. It's all right.
Do you have a favourite anecdote of spontaneously meeting someone during the day, not cold approach? I don't know, really.
You mean, hold on, not cold approach? I don't get it. What's
I think you mean meeting a woman during the day, but it wasn't a cold approach. I mean, that's happened. I'm not sure.
I still don't really get it. What's he mean?
Yeah, might have to clarify that one a bit.
So again, the point I take from that is you see cold approach, this weird and wacky thing. It's not. We're just being social. Yeah, that's all we're doing. So sometimes you're direct with women, sometimes you're indirect, sometimes you just say a random comment, sometimes you just end up in an interaction. You take a number because there's a vibe there. And that happens. You're just a social animal. Why don't you just see it as I'm a social animal or I'm not a social animal?
I've had situations where I've been somewhere, like it's say coffee shop, whatever, and a girl has sort of smiled at me, and then we've just started talking. And I wouldn't say that it wasn't an approach in the sense that I saw her and I was like, oh, I've got to go and speak to her. It was more just it happened. So that's definitely happened to me. But I mean, the issue with that is, you've also got to be match ready for those things when they come up, haven't you?
Yes.
Because my former flannel self, I would find it, even if I was getting very obvious signs from the girl that she was keen to speak to me, I would find it then difficult. I would think, oh, but what if people look round, or what if these people laugh at me when I try and talk to her, or what if she tells me to fuck off, or whatever. And I would talk myself out of even having that conversation.
Same.
So the value of doing completely cold approaches is that you get yourself some battle armor, so that then when these more organic things happen, you're able to step up to the plate, which a lot of guys are, So lame cuck. Been looking up Recife on Google Maps. James is an adventurous traveller. I'm
not even in Recife. I was in a place called Maragogi, and I'm going to a place called Marseille, even more remote. Recife is still like a second or third tier city in Brazil. It's got 5 million people, so it's not like a complete village. But where I currently am is super chill.
Well, is Recife? He's making it sound like Recife is sort of some kind of like little hut village in the middle of the Amazonian jungle. I mean, it's not really, is it?
No, it's 5 million people in a city.
Lom says it's all good to say leave the UK and go to South America, for example, but we're not going to live there.
Why not? If you're fucking desperately unhappy sitting with your dick in your hand where you live with no dating options, why wouldn't you move? You only get a certain amount of playing time and then you're dead. Why wouldn't you take a chance?
Yeah. I mean, we know people. Well, I mean, you're in South America half the year, and Eddie, who you're with, I mean, he lives in Brazil, doesn't he?
He just moved here. He lived in this shitty place like near Grimsby, and he was like, fuck this at age 19, fuck this, and just moved to Mexico for university and then moved to Brazil. And he's, we joke about it now. I was like, what would it be like if you're still in Grimsby? And we just laugh about it, because it's just like, and he did that at 19. So, late 30s men that are going, oh, it seems scary to do that. It's like, fucking grow up here, son.
Yeah.
Jesus. What was that last one that was there?
I don't really understand that. But this one, the one and only, I am the one and only.
Who was that by? That was part of the cheesy Oceana lineup, wasn't it?
Chesney Hawkes.
Oh, God.
I went to a Chesney Hawkes concert once, actually.
Any good?
No, he played one and only 3 times, because that was his only song, really.
Three
different versions of it, and then he played some Oasis covers and stuff, and then that was it.
That's pathetic, isn't it? Yeah. Jesus.
Anyway, one and only, bringing some joy to the chat this morning. There's always a better guy, so why even try? Relax and do fuck all.
Well, yeah, that's fine if you're happy. It's not a zero-sum game, though. Like, you can still be fucking loads of women if you're not a top-tier A-list celebrity. Or you can choose to wallow in nothing. I mean, it's really up to you how you want to live your life. We're not trying to suggest everyone should go down the path of leveling up. I mean, but if you're watching these streams, clearly there's something in what we're saying that you're like, oh, maybe it is a good idea, and you're too scared to take the action. And that's why we're here, because you come on a boot camp and we get you started.
Yeah. I mean, nobody watching this has to do anything, and obviously most of you don't, so it's quite lucky. But I mean, we are just putting forward the fact that there is a way out of all the difficulties that
of this horrible, mediocre kind of not really dating much, kind of lonely, kind of frustrated, kind of bored, kind of existential crisis. Is this really all life is? You can walk the path to a better life, but you have to do it. It constantly frustrates me how many guys get in touch. And this is one guy, Northern Irish guy, me and Garcia have spoken to a few times. He's just doing fuck all. He's dating like one average girl a month from Tinder in the UK, not fucking them. And we've said to him, you know, Mr. B, come out a few times to Bogota and thing. And he's like, we'll have the calls with him and he'll find some shitty excuse not to do it. And it's like, bro, you're just lying to yourself. You're in your peak, your late 30s, you're doing fuck all. Will you fucking man up? Just what's wrong?
And then he's back again. I am the one and only. The only person in this world who cares about you and loves you is you.
Yeah, very good. But again, no man is an island. We weren't built to grow up completely isolated, right? How do they punish you in the Western world? What do? Put you in a cell by yourself and deprive you of human connection. That's a punishment. And yet most men voluntarily do that. Shut themselves indoors with Netflix and Instagram and think, my life's all right. I'll just jerk off. Yeah.
In my case, this isn't even true. I mean, I started going off myself years ago.
Yes.
All right.
It's a bit of a ranty one today, but it's something we're passionate about because we've been in the position that a lot of these guys have been in, which is abject loneliness, actually. And it's a really unhappy place to be. And ultimately, that's why I started the channel originally for me, was because I was like, right, I'm just going to commit to this and get better. I hate being lonely. I hate being in the position of not being able to choose women. I hate being able to not open my mouth to attractive women. I hate feeling awkward around women. I hated it. And I was like, fuck, I've got to change, right? And so, to quote Rich Cooper, I made my wounds my work. I didn't really. I was just like, right, if I was teaching myself, what content would be helpful for me? And I put that out. And I know from speaking like this, because guys will get in touch going, I really feel you, man. I know there's a lot of guys, you're watching this and you're in the same position. So the only person that can save you is you. You've got to walk through the door. We can assist, but you've got to make the decision to be like, I live one life. You know what? Fuck this. I'm actually really, really done with just being fucking mediocre, not having any women and being scared of women. I hate it, right? And if you've got the balls to admit that you hate it, that's the first step. Then you can change. But you've got to stop lying to yourself, being like, it's all right. You know, or my social circle, they don't really get laid. So I'll just, conformity and the mediocre, right? Fuck all that. Fuck it. You're not happy. Head on, face it head on. Yeah,
indeed. Talk about the fact of having a good wingman, good friend to go out with for a walk and have the back and support to approach.
Well, yeah, exactly. You've summed it up there. We don't need to add to that. Well done. Right, that's the end of the parish notices. If you'd like to join us in Bogota, because this has lit a fire in your soul somewhere deep inside, and you think, fuck, they're actually talking some sense, these fools. info@jamestuss.com. Send us an email, or troy@realtroyfrance.com. Include your WhatsApp number. We'll have a chat about how we can help you, but it starts with live training. And it starts with facing your greatest fear, which is approaching hundreds of women head on and learning to be comfortable around them. The nervous system learns to relax. It's like a scared animal. You train it and it relaxes, and you're like, oh, this isn't actually so bad. Shit, this is quite enjoyable. Shit, I always wanted this.
The one and only. I like trying, James. You guys care. Thanks, man. I am the one and only. Can't take that away from me.
It's a really annoying song, isn't it? I'm definitely not going to add that to my gym workout Spotify playlist.
It's not the best, to be fair, but
there was always that lineup of they played that in the university, right? I went to Nottingham. It was always a lineup of like that, the Baywatch theme tune, Sinead O'Connor, for fuck's sake.
What? Man,
with her shaved head. What's her really famous one? Nothing compares to you.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days. That one.
Since my last wank, the day game edition. What else is that? The Bryan Adams, Summer of '69. It was just literal. The dance floor smelled of cheese. About, literal cheese coming out the speakers. Cheese stacked upon cheese of these songs.
What about Guns N' Roses' "Sweet Child of Mine"? That's a classic.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Oceana was not in Nottingham. Was not cool enough to play that. It was just cheesy, like 80s pop, early 90s pop, but not the good ones. Always the kind of hit and miss. Ugh.
Yeah. 50 Cent.
I left uni years after.
Oh,
No, hold on. That came out when I was like 14. What was his original one? In the Club.
In the Club, yeah. There's a good song I think called Lil Bit, actually, which I
Little Bit.
Yeah, it's a good song. Good tune. Troy and James is absolutely right. Don't wait till you're Stavros. Just go out there. Absolutely.
Well, unfortunately, none of us are going to become Stavros. He's in case you hadn't realised, he's a metaphorical interpretation of a Giga Chad via AI. Because I know a lot of you were confused, thinking that's not a real person. Correct, it's not. Any comeback to Tigre, Mr. Francis? It's shut.
I don't know. It's open. As far as I know, it's closed. As far as I know, it's closed. But I'm not sure because I walk past there sometimes, and it seems like there's a bar that's there in its place, but I don't know if it's open yet. So I'm not really sure on that.
We should go back. We should run a boot camp for old time's sake in Tigre, and Zubar.
We should film some stuff in there. You should bring the meta glasses and stuff like that, just for going back to Tiger 2 decades on. This is the reality now.
I'd love to, but they're broken.
Could you recommend some good RP material on social intelligence and communication?
You don't need it. You need to go out and speak to people. You don't need more theory. Yeah. We give you all the theory you need on these fucking streams. In fact, we give you way too much.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about that type of stuff. I mean, the only people that we really recommend these days are probably Good Looking Loser and
60 years of challenge, to be honest. His 4 ebooks are very good, but mainly his first one on just being social. Ultimately, the biggest thing is just be social. If you're a social man each day, opportunities will present. That's the first step, because most of our viewers are just not social. Just not social at all. You don't speak to anyone, and you wonder why you're shit with people. It's not because you're defective. It's just because you can't be good at something you don't do a lot.
Yeah. Well, you got Peter the cowman, Peter the milkman here. I can't leave the cows. Not with I assume he means mother at 75.
I love the way that all these comments as well, not only are they sometimes funny, but no one can seem to actually write a sentence. I mean, I'm really concerned about the lack of education levels in their ability to write stuff.
To be fair, I think maybe English is his second language.
Well, who is he?
I don't know. He comments on every stream saying he can't go out of the house because he owns a load of cows.
Plot twist is Les, because he grew up in South Africa.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, with that being said, what you should all do: put your cows down, leave the milk to somebody else, and come to Bogota or indeed Buenos Aires. But Bogota really is the big one. 16th to 22nd of April. Drop me an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com or info@jamestuss.com. Give us your WhatsApp details and we'll arrange a call with you. We'll actually get on the blower with you and talk to you through the details of this, because there's a few different options. But basically, the main thing is amazing party house, living there for 7 days with trainers, with wing girls, with other guys, leveling up, going out, meeting women during the day, going out in the evening, meeting women, bring them all back, having crazy wild parties. Absolutely insane. It's going to be the best event that we do this year, without a doubt. So, it's up to you, really. Or you can just keep putting in comments on our streams. The choice is yours, but we only... Your
life ticks by minute, gentlemen, hour by hour. You never get it back. Think of that proverbial hourglass. Death has claimed the amount of your life, whatever your age is. You're never getting that back. Make the most of your remaining time, or forever burn in eternity with regret, quite frankly, especially when it comes to dating. The most lonely place a man can be, according to Nietzsche, is unfulfilled potential, and that extends to obviously the opposite sex.
Nietzsche hadn't been on the cow farm with Peter, though.
And also, Nietzsche, to be fair, was a bit of an armchair theorist, because he got rejected by a few birds and basically swore off dating.
Yeah.
So a bit of an incel. So you read into that what you will, but again, probably had all this existential, grief throughout his work because he couldn't connect with the opposite sex.
Also, he didn't really. From what I understand, I think I'm correct in this, he didn't really hit it big with his work until after he died.
Yeah.
So he also didn't really have the fame thing either.
Right.
So if he'd have become really big during his life, then things may have changed up for him a bit. But unfortunately, apparently they didn't.
Albert Camus was a bit of a slayer, apparently.
Yes. Yeah. Camus, great. It's Peter's third language. He learned English at his alma mater in Tel Aviv. Okay.
Okay. Well,